highlighting the people and places that support, grow, and promote our sport. This is TNT Off the Rail. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Don't forget to enable live notifications so you don't miss anything. Please note that Off the Rail is a live show. Calls and comments will be recorded for use by TNT Off the Rail. Some segments are pre-recorded. Be a part of the show. Hit us up in the chat or comments. Text us 833-868-7665. We will call you on air if you want. Like, share, start a watch party. It's time for TNT Off the Rail. Let's get the show started.
Let's get the show started tonight. We got a special guest coming up here around 7 o'clock. We're going to have the one, the only.
Let's put it this way. Let's just clarify just in case. But we are scheduled.
We are scheduled.
We are scheduled to talk.
Yes.
To Miss Allison Fisher.
Yeah. The Duchess of Doom.
Ooh. I'm not gonna lie.
You're really excited about this.
I am very excited, dude. I mean, I know I'm not the only person. Every night back in the day, you flip on ESPN, and when you couldn't fall asleep, and there she was doing her thing, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a little excited. I'm gonna do some sharing. You do your business for a second.
All right. Well, he's gonna do some sharing. Got to get this out. This is probably going to be one of our bigger watch shows. I hope. Assuming that we tried to get Allison on once before. She had some things come up. We didn't get her on. It was a couple Fridays ago, and she had some stuff come up, so we weren't able to get her on. So we'll try to do that now. Also, for those of you who don't know, we've got the big doubles tournaments coming up. I'm honored. I'm thankful. I can't say enough how thankful I am for everybody that's starting to get involved in this. It's going to be August 15th.
Yep.
We're going to do it at the Black Rose in Princeton. It's going to be a Scotch doubles tournament. Going to be man, girl. It doesn't matter. You can
just no two.
You can't have two masters on a team. So I mean, you can have two advanced, two opens, a novice, and a master. Whatever you want to do. But you just can't have two masters on a team. Going to do a little fundraising for me, which I mean, I've lost at words. I don't know what to say. But other than thank you, I got Kaylee down there. She's busting her hump down there trying to get some people up for this. We already got somewhere in and around 15 teams, maybe.
We're bored. I have to look. And if you just recently registered today, I have not added you to the list yet. I just got off work and I came flying over here to do this thing. I will get it updated a little later tonight. We're around 17.
budiswiser.net. You can go and you can sign up right on the website there and get your team signed up. I did hear that that Kenny French is going to come all the way from Vegas to play.
Yeah, Kenny French signed himself up. And just a little note on that. When you go to budiswiser.net, up at the top, there's a thing that says register for tournament. Currently, the doubles one is the only one that's up there. I will be out another one. We'll talk about that later. But you'll click on the Hollywood benefit, and you'll fill in. You got to make sure that when you're doing it, there's little red asterisks by boxes. All those boxes have to be filled in. If you've already played with TNT before, you do your thing. And then down in the box where it asks for your experience or average or anything like that. If you've already played with us, obviously you don't have to worry about that because I've got you in the database. Just put who your partner is. Now, and if your partner's already with us, then they don't have to sign up. If your partner's never played with TNT before, have them register and put your name in there telling me that that you guys are partnering up, and then I can get them added to the database, and then I'll put you guys in because we're putting it in as teams because it's Scotch doubles. So
and we want to keep it as fair as possible. That's why we don't want two masters playing together. I mean, I know there's going to be a discrepancy. I mean, there's going to be a skill level difference between some of the teams, and we get it. It's short races. Anybody can win this, but we wanted to get to the point where we didn't have any two masters on the same team, so on and so forth. We got a little buzz going on today again. Is that me? It went away.
Don't touch anything.
Okay. I'll just let the cord hang down here for right now. But yeah, so I mean, we want to keep it as fair as possible for everybody, and so that's a good thing. Also, on another note, talk about pool. We got the ACS Summer League meeting will be tomorrow night. It's at 7 o'clock. It's going to be at Cardwell's?
Yes, Cardwell's.
It'll be at Cardwell's, so make sure if you want to get your team together like today, some of you see me talking on the Pigeon Coop, we were putting teams together last minute like John Bresley. We got Sam Maggio. We had Dave Noble. We got Jared Muirherder. We got Jeremiah Easley. them guys need to get together, start talking. This meeting's tomorrow. We got to get our teams together, and play starts next week. So we ain't got much time. If you haven't got a bar to play for, make sure you get with Bud, get with me, get with somebody that because these are all going to be on Jedi tables this year. So you got to make sure that thinking don't go thinking that you're going to go play at PJ's or the Corner Tap, because it can't happen this year, because they have Black Hawk tables and we're only using Jedi this year, and that's just the way it's going to be. So that being said, make sure you get your team signed up or get somebody there to represent you tomorrow, and you have to have your team sponsorship money, which is $50.
Is she collecting that tomorrow?
I don't know if she collects it tomorrow, but I thought for some reason in my head I thought that you were supposed to bring that, but I'm not really sure.
We'd have to ask her. Teresa, if anybody sees of Teresa or talk to her, tell her to hit us up real quick and let us know.
Also, why I'm thinking about it too, we got the chat box open, and this is running off Facebook and YouTube tonight, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So if you have any questions for the Duchess of Doom, Allison Fisher, get them in there. Get them in there now. I don't know how much time we're going to have with her. We might have 15, 20 minutes. I'm not sure.
We'll keep her as long as she'll stay.
Well, right. I mean, you are excited about
this.
Dude,
I'm jacked. Amy's jacked. Amy's excited.
Amy's excited.
Sam's got us on the big screen. What's up going on, Sam? How you doing?
Hey, Sam. Got us on the big screen. Oh, you might focus on him more. Well, wait a minute. I'm the eye candy. He's actually, see, a lot of people think that I'm the one that runs all this stuff sometimes, and it's completely the opposite. Actually, Greg owns everything. Bud owns everything. I'm the eye candy and the voice. That's all I do.
Isn't that the weirdest thing you've ever heard?
Because anybody that knows me knows I'm lazy. Knows I just want to show up. I want to do the show. I want to be a bit of a diva. I want to complain about stuff, about not being in the right spot. Things are messy or whatever, and then I pack up my crap and leave.
Well, you didn't even pack up your own.
No,
crap.
I don't even leave.
You watch somebody else pack.
Yeah, I go sit on the couch over
right.
here. And I take it easy while everybody else hauls everything.
You got
out.
that? You're all right? You want me to get somebody to help you with that?
Well, I'm not going to help.
Look, wow, Buckshot. That was. I don't know if that's mean or not. Said we look like Chris Farley and David Spade.
No, we are. The best one was when John Wilson put up there.
Oh yeah.
We were the two wrestling commentators. JR and Jerry the King Longer. But we haven't decided who's who. Am I JR or are you JR?
I don't know. I'm just gonna stay out of that conversation. Mark
real slobber knocker tonight.
Burkholder said, "Yeah, just like when you DJ."
Right. yeah. Mark. And speaking of DJing, I'll put the plug. I'll put the plug out there.
There it is.
DJ Hollywood's returning back behind the DJ booth. Back. This is one of the DJ booths right here.
Right here. Yeah,
Probably have that out there. We're going to be at the Whiskey Barrel this Friday night. And if you haven't had a chance to see me, I haven't been behind a DJ booth since the middle of last year, somewhere in that ballpark. I think was the last show. I think I did a show in October, and I wasn't feeling very good.
Why didn't you? I thought you did one closer to Christmas too. Didn't you do a Christmas?
I think it was October. I did the Halloween party.
Oh
at,
yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah,
because Froggies and Cooler do theirs together. So yeah, I'm going to be back behind the DJ booth. We're going to be playing all the latest dance music. We're going to from yesterday and today. We're going to play a little rock and roll, a little country. We'll play a little bit of everything. We're going to have a good time, and I'm hoping that a lot of the people come out and check that out. We're going to have a good time, and me and Mac Daddy Marco, we're going to blow the roof off that place.
There you go, buddy. Hey, let's take a quick second to give a big shout out to our amazing sponsors that help us bring this stuff to you, so we don't forget to do it because they're so awesome and we love them so very much. So let's take a minute and do that real quick. CBM Construction, Bill Lilly. Bill builds it best. Give him a call, 815-716-6727. You can check him out on Facebook. He's offering all your construction needs, new builds, remodeling, as well as heating and cooling services and installation. He's licensed, bonded, and insured. Bill can help you out, and he can do it fair and honest. So give him a call, and he'll help you out, take care of anything. He builds all catios and really cool river bench or river decks. That last one he just built, there's some new pictures up on his Facebook page.
The cat thing.
Yeah, the cat thing, the catio. That was
the catio.
He built
a catio.
Yeah, a catio. It was really neat, honest to God. And our great friends over at you do this real quick. I gotta answer this.
Oh well, I think we're getting a phone call from you know who.
Hello.
So let's just.
Hey Dallas, how are you?
He's got the one and only Dallas. Is Dallas on the phone?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on?
Oh.
Hey, can I give you a call back in just a few minutes?
We didn't expect this one. We got
All right,
Dallas West is on the phone. we got all the stars calling us tonight. What did Dallas need? Well, let's get you back up here.
I don't know exactly. He says, "Well, I got your number," and he called.
Well, hey.
Now I might need to change my. Anyhow, let's finish this with A&A Flooring. Give Al and Angie a call for all your flooring needs. Sorry about that, Al. I really didn't mean to mess up your message.
Yeah, well, hey, every once in a while, Al, we got.
When the phone rings and it says Dallas West, you answer.
You answer the phone.
You
It's
answer
kind
the
of like
phone.
the president calling, you know.
Anyhow, so A&A
Well, we're not
Flooring,
gonna get into
Sterling, A&A Flooring, Sterling, Illinois, 815-632-0675. Give Al and Angie a call for all your flooring needs. Check out aafloors.biz and use the on-site tool to check out different flooring options in your house without tearing things up or going anywhere. You could do it in your underwear. You can look at the vinyl flooring and all kinds of different flooring stuff right there on the website on your phone. And
yeah, the app is really nice because you can go in there and you can get a you know, it's kind of, you're going in and getting a picture of the room, and then you can kind of dial in whatever you want. And you can get a good look at what the project's going to look like before anybody's even ever touched it. It's a great way to kind of get an idea of what you're looking at before you pay to get it done.
Yes, absolutely. A&A Flooring, Al and Angie Dealatel over in Sterling, Illinois, 815-632-0675, aafloors.biz.
You know what we should do is just dial Dallas West right back up, put him on the show. Let's just see what he wanted. Tell him, hey, we got Allison fishing next, but we can talk to you for 2 minutes. See what he's got going on.
We'll call him. We'll call him in a little bit.
Or we can call him after we talk to Allison.
Yeah, well, maybe Dallas, if you're watching, we'll call you back. We're supposed to call Allison Fisher here shortly, and we'll give you a call. Jenna, thank you. I just got
not that you're not as important as Allison Fisher, because you are, but she's scheduled, and she always has a really tight schedule. So we're trying to get her in there as soon as possible. And like I said,
I'm all dazed and confused now. I'm like,
yeah. Usually you don't get your cage rattled too bad.
That one caught me off guard.
He's excited about Allison Fisher coming on the show.
Man. I'm not gonna lie.
He's excited that pool leagues are starting next week. Even though, have you found your team yet?
I'm working on it. I did talk to my team. Well, we actually did start some pool leagues this week too. The very first week of the
Scotch doubles.
Well, not Scotch doubles, just doubles.
Oh, doubles. I'm sorry. Yes.
The Rock Falls Sterling doubles TNT doubles league started this week. Went off pretty good. I mean,
some people are having a little trouble with the score sheet, but Cal, you got to concentrate, buddy. He didn't tell me. I mean, he kind of told me, but you were having a little trouble. But just bear with me, or make Joe do it. Make Joe Gonzalez fill out the information, but. Just stick with it, and you guys will get used to it. It's not hard to figure out. You just do it for a couple weeks.
I give everybody the benefit of the doubt because it's been a long time since anybody's seen a score sheet, and it's like a whole new world now.
Yeah, and it is. It is. It would take a little bit of getting used to, and so we got the doubles leagues that started.
Pretty good games went on too.
I heard that we had perfect score. Who was it?
Two perfect matches by both guys, same team, Don Koltoff and Rick Johnson.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job, Rick.
Won all their matches. Didn't.
Yeah.
120.
And I know, and just to bring this up, we got Don Koltoff's also possibly looking for a team to play on. So
on Tuesdays.
And he's willing to come down in this area. So if anybody, so if you need a good sub, number one, that'd be a great sub. Number two, he'd be a great full-time player. I don't know if he's looking to play full-time or not.
I thought that post said something about he being just a sub or something like that.
Well, right. But if you go onto my Pigeon Coop page, I talked to, like I said, I had Jared Muirherder, Sam Maggio, James Rashaw, and some of those boys. That's a team right there. So Jeremiah Easley, you guys need to get together, get it settled up, find out who's going to be playing full time, who's the sub's going to be, because that's a team number 2 that can come out of this area or right out of the garage here, just from guys that come in here and play, and that'll add to our league. The more people we add to this league, the bigger it is, the more money's in it, the more fun we're going to have.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. And like I said, I don't know if Teresa's listening or not, but if she's got any information that we need to know about for this meeting tomorrow, like if people are supposed to show up with sponsorship or a team that they're, because you got to have your team or you got to have your place of bar ready that you're going to play for by next week. So you get that in order.
Tyler, we hustled. We used some connections. That's how we did that. We used some connections. Jesse, he hasn't said anything. Jesse wants to know if there's anything going on after the show.
Not that I'm aware of. You mean to come over and play or something like that?
Just asked.
Oh, we can bang some around. Yeah.
You
guys are all welcome
right now.
Hey, the door's open right now. Just come on over and start banging balls. We don't care.
Who gets in the way of Buckshot's drinking?
Well, I'm kind of disappointed in Buckshot because he was over here. He'd always hitting balls all the time and stuff. And he went out and bought a house, for his kids and his wife for some reason. I don't know. So he's been busy doing that. He hasn't been over here hitting balls. And I'm bored, Buckshot. I miss you, brother. You need to come play some pool with me.
Priorities, man. Come on. So the few other things, let's touch on a couple other things real quick, and then maybe afterwards we'll swing back around to them. A lot of really cool stuff going on. Matter of fact, they just started about an hour and a half ago. The Gomez Bergman match got back underway.
Hey, my prediction's not looking good.
No, it is not looking. They went into today with a starting score 80-72. Bergman was up.
And I predicted 100 to 87. Didn't I?
Yes, you did.
It's not looking good for my prediction. However,
it's not over yet.
However, it's not over, and they are known to put big streaks together because they are playing 8-ball on a big table, and it's not uncommon to see somebody put 6, 8, 10 racks together.
And some weird stuff happened over there. They had big storms went through, knocked out the power on the internet, stopped play really bad. And if I'm not mistaken, if I remember, it stopped playing. It was tied, dead even, 47 to 47.
It was 47-47. And Bergman went on a little bit of a run after that the next day, and then they're finishing it up today, which they would have finished yesterday.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
They started back up at 5:00. Maybe we'll try to hit up Josh and see if we can get a.
But I do have another prediction that was fairly close. It was fairly close.
Which one was that?
We had the Dave's Place tournament over the weekend.
Oh yes.
And
yes.
I predicted that everybody was playing for second. Apparently, I was the one playing for second.
You had the places, just not quite where the people.
Right. Steve Oder got first. I got second, and everybody's making fun of me. Steve, I hate you. By the way,
that picture
because
gonna live in
you make me look like I'm about a foot tall. Everybody's sending me messages. Did you shrink?
I meant to put that on there so I
said,
could
no, I'm
pop
just
it up
fat.
there real quick. Oh my! That picture was. He's about 4 foot taller than you.
I don't know. I don't know how tall Steve is, but he's got to be. I'm going to say 6'6". Maybe?
In that picture, he literally looked like he was 7 feet taller than you. It was insane.
Well, he's a tall guy, and you couldn't. I mean, if you're gonna take second place to somebody, and all jokes aside, I mean, Steve Oder's.
He was on fire though.
He's a super nice guy. His wife is
she played
nice
pretty good.
Yeah, she plays great. To be honest with you, that was the first time I'd ever seen her play.
She had Jesse nervous.
And speaking of Jesse, poor Jesse. I first of all, I want to thank you because
that's right.
Everybody knows that money's been tight around here a little bit, and I'm hoping to get this. Once I get some other stuff going in here, and hopefully get some disability running or something, get a darn paycheck around here. Jesse was nice enough to put me in the tournament, and then he gets me in the first round. I put him on the loser side, and then Andy Baxter put me on the loser side, and then I had to come all the way back. And guess who I meet to get into the money round? I had to play Jesse again.
Yep.
Knocked him out of the tournament,
Yeah.
And then I went on to take second. But congratulations to Steve; he shot really well, and I got second. Andy Baxter was third, and Andy, I have to tell you, I don't know if you're listening tonight, buddy, but I'm really impressed with your game. You really impressed me. I haven't watched you play a lot, even though we played on the same team last year. But I only played just a few times. I wasn't really feeling all that well last year, and I really didn't pay much attention.
Right.
I didn't realize how well Andy shoots.
Well,
you
it's
shoot
because
good,
you had
bud.
so much faith in your team, you didn't need to watch them.
Correct.
Except for me.
Maybe that's what. We all got to keep an eye on you.
Right.
Your wife told me to keep an eye on you. I'm not sure why, but she told me to keep an eye on you. But Andy, I was very, very impressed. You played really, really well. He actually put me on the loser side, and I had to come back and knock him out. And like I said, and then Steve took. I can't remember who fourth place. I can't remember who took fourth. Do you remember?
John McKibben.
John, and he's the one that was.
He takes care of the tables.
Yeah. Okay. Well, John, right?
John McKibben.
Okay. So he told me he'd be listening, and he told me, he goes, you gotta talk about me on the show, and I said, all right, I'll talk about you because he's down there. He had one of these going. And John's a real nice guy. He used to clean carpets down at leisure time and did an outstanding job. Did that for years down there with my Uncle Jimmy and stuff like that. But he do a little barking. So here's what we're going to do, John. If you're paying attention. Now, I heard that you can get the table, maybe probably opened up down there or something, and get the internet running. And then I'll come down there, and you can name the game and the price, and we'll play a little bit, and we'll stream it on the match. We'll get a grudge match going, me and you.
That'll be fun.
I'll let you name the game and the money.
That'll be fun.
And then I'm going to come down there and steamroll you.
So, and speaking of Dave's Place, we had a ton of fun. Food.
The food.
The food.
I had a meatball sandwich.
Big as your head.
It was as big as my melon. I mean, this thing. It was. And recently, and a whole thing of really nice crispy fries. But this meatball sandwich. I mean, and the guy goes, "Well, it's a half sandwich." It goes half sub, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And he brought this thing out, and it was like, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to eat this thing.
I had the Philly cheese. I had to use a fork.
I needed a dump truck to take it over to the table. The thing was it was a monster. It was really, really good. The fries were really good. The service was excellent. And I can't say enough, because I like food.
Oh, yeah.
I like food.
They did good. Yeah.
And so that was nice, and it was very reasonably priced. And, the tables, I mean, they got the older Valley tables. They're very similar to this. The tables are very well taken care of. If you're ever out there in the Lanark area, you go to Dave's Place, get yourself on one of them tables, and they play nice, man.
Yeah.
They run quick. I don't know what kind of felt they had on them, but they had them stretched nice.
And John takes good care of them.
Yeah, they were really nice.
What John
really
does
nice
with
and
them.
clean, and I was very impressed with the way they played. Had a couple of them had a little wiggles in it, but that's a Valley table for
That's
you.
how it goes. Yeah, Jessica and her staff did an amazing job. Shayla was taking care of us behind the bar. It was a ton of
Bartender
fun.
was absolutely outstanding. She did a really good job.
She was super sweet and really appreciate everything they do for us out there. And we'll be going back next month, August 8th. I'll have some information. I don't have the flyer yet. We just confirmed the date. So I will have that'll get posted up. So check out the Facebook page.
And I would imagine, that was our first tournament back. And, you still got some people that are a little worried about coming out and and all that kind of stuff, and I don't blame them. Hey, if you're if you got a compromised immune system or whatever, and you want to play safe, hey, I don't blame you at all. And I get a little slack once in a while. Hey, maybe you should be careful.
Well, that's how you do it, man.
It's my life.
Right, exactly.
I try to do what I just. Is it the right thing to do? Probably not. But anybody that knows me knows that I can't sit at home stare at four walls. I go crazy. I did it for about 8 months, and I almost went completely out of my darn mind. So I decided that I'm going to start living my life a little bit because I need to see some scenery, and it was nice to get out. And I have to thank Bill Lilly from the CBM Construction and his lovely wife Patricia for taking me up there because right now I don't have wheels, so they were nice enough to drive me up there, drive me home, and I got to watch Bill's wife do a little drinky. She's fun. She's fun when she's drinking.
No,
it was a good time. She's like hanging out.
You telling me
hanging
Mrs.
out
Lilly
the
drinks?
rooftop. She's having fun on the way home, singing, just having a blast.
So we got about 5 minutes.
Yes. Oh, and we'll get into this after we talk to Allison. We got an update on the
She just messaged back, so we'll be calling her in about 5 minutes.
Yeah. We're going to be talking a little bit about Sam.
Yep. Well, let's touch on it real quick.
He went out to the juniors tournament out in Ohio, did really well. We'll talk about that.
Yep. Did very well.
And then we have we'll see if we can get Josh Stutz. I don't know if he's listening, but maybe shoot us an update on the score because I think they started at 5.
They did. That's what the schedule was for. Hey, I'll message him real quick before we call.
And I know that if somebody could do me a favor too, or have Josh send you, or unless you have it on your post. They do have that tournament, that big 9-ball tournament coming up down there in Peoria, and I can't remember what the dates are on that, but that's going to be a real good tournament.
P-Town Throwdown?
The P-Town Throwdown.
July 25th. There's a mini tournament the day before, I believe it was. I have to scroll.
For some reason, I was thinking it was next month, but yeah. I mean, I know I glanced at it today, and I know that I'm going to try to get down there. Hopefully, one of the guys from the area here are going to go down there and play in that 9-ball tournament because 9-ball is more my game. I mean, I do go play in the 8-ball tournaments and stuff like that, but like I've told anybody, 8-ball is my worst game because I got to start practicing my 8-ball game. It's just what I need to do.
Right.
You would think, all the years I've played pool that I would start to enjoy the game of 8-ball, but it's just I just rather play 9 or 10-ball. Actually, to be honest with you, I went out to Bob Steinhagen's house. He's got an 8-footer out there. And I mean, 8-foot's not ideal, but me and Bob, we played some straight pool. We played some one pocket, and that was a lot of fun. And I think I might be able to get Bob hooked on playing one pocket because then I have somebody to go play one pocket with. See,
I got it.
I need to practice it because I really like that game. I spent a lot of time on YouTube watching one pocket, and you talk to guys like my buddy Eric Marsh and some of them boys. They're like, that's watching paint dry. But if you really, really watch the game in one pocket, there's a lot of strategy. And if you really, really, really want to improve your game, that's a very good game to play because it'll teach you your safeties. It teaches you your banks, your cross banks. It teaches you how to kick balls. It teaches you how to hide. It teaches you everything about the ball, about the game. And straight pool, same way.
Yep, there it is.
There it is right there.
We'll put this up for you. The P-Town Throwdown. I believe that's what it says. Yeah, July 25th and 26th.
Mm-hmm.
Starts pretty early there. You can get a hold of Josh. His phone number's on there. I don't have it wrote down with me anymore. I did message him, and maybe we'll get to hear from him.
And a lot of the bars are everything still opened up. Guys downtown. I talked to Renee and Kendra from the Cooler today, and things are look good. I'm hoping to bring the DJ Hollywood show back to the Cooler as soon as possible, as soon as we can start working on some details there. So that'd be fun too. So then you'll be able to catch me at the Whiskey Barrel, and then right next door. I'm going to go back and forth.
Yeah, there you go.
And
just get some wires and just sit in the middle somewhere.
And I'm supposed to be talking to Heath Warner about going out to the Warner's VIP lounge out there by it's out by Kroger's. I've never been to that one before. I've been out to the other place outside town, but I ain't been to Warner's yet, so I'm pretty excited about that. Maybe we'll work out a deal. So I'm plugging myself
because that's how he does it. That's how he rolls.
Free advertisement, and if you got a bar or something, I could DJ in your basement for all I care right now.
Earlier we said 5 minutes. We were actually about 7 minutes, so we're about 4 minutes out. We're going to give her a call. So make sure you got your questions handy. Don't pile them all into the chat box right away. That way I don't have to go back digging them for them. I'll let you guys know when we're going to start asking her. We're going to talk to her for a few minutes, and then I'll mention something about putting up some questions, and then we'll ask them. Try to be respectful.
Yes, absolutely. It's
not directed at anybody in particular, John.
It's a great pleasure that Allison's going to be coming on the show. It's a great honor of ours because
absolutely.
I mean, you're not gonna get much bigger of a name than Allison Fisher.
No.
I think everybody knows her from even in the early '90s when she came over from England. She came from a snooker background, started playing the game of billiards, and back then there was a big contract. The ESPN had all the ladies. So I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of people in the pool world know who Effin Reyes is.
Right.
But back in the 90s, when all the pool was being played, it was mostly the ladies on television. So that's who you've seen. You've seen the likes of, the Black Widow, the Duchess of Doom, Karen Core. You've seen all them ladies, and you knew who they were. And the guys were kind of nobody really know who they. I mean,
they were still a little rough around the edges for TV.
The pool players would know who all the big names were. The Seagulls of the day. Mark Wilson, so on and so forth, all them big heavy hitters back in the day. But most people were familiar with the ladies playing pool because, quite frankly, they were on ESPN. They had a place to play, and they had a format, television, and it was a big deal. And that's what brought Allison Fisher over here. I'm assuming that's what brought her over here because
we'll ask her. It was
that's
one of
the whole point of doing it. Isn't it?
It was one of those things. She was trying to make her way in it and had to take the opportunities where she could get them because they weren't the opportunities she wanted weren't available to her. She had to go different channels to get there. So
that's what you do. I mean, when you're good at something, you just you got to find a way to make some decent money at it. That's the whole key, right?
Right.
I mean, none of us is ever going to be multimillionaires playing pool. Not in today's world. But that's where we're trying to get it. Get the youth involved. Get sponsorship money behind this. I don't know that pool will ever get back on television per se, but I have no problems with it being on the internet. And and so on and so forth. I think that's probably the future anyway.
I think we would all love it that way. But yeah, like you said, TV's it's not the powerhouse that used to. TV's not the powerhouse it used to be now.
However, me and Bud are available for commentary for any of you. Fox, ABC, NBC, whatever. We'll come and we won't turn it down. We can work out a deal.
Yeah, we won't turn you down. That's for sure.
All right, let's give Allison a call.
We're gonna give her a call. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and like and follow. Turn on your live notifications to make sure that you don't miss anything. And I got to find it. I lost it. You'd think I'd have it right there in front of me. Yeah, turn on your live notifications. Sorry, told you guys I can't multitask very well when I'm doing this. Turn on your live notifications. Make sure you're following the TNT page so you don't miss a thing. Got a lot of cool stuff coming up while I'm down. We're going to be at Wise Guys this weekend. On Sunday, we're going to play we're going to play 8 or 10 ball. I haven't decided yet, but we're going to play something at 1 o'clock on Sunday, and I'll have some information on that here. So let's gonna hit the button. We're going to call Allison right now. I'm sorry.
He is really excited about
I am
this.
very excited.
Oh, and just why we're calling her, just to let you guys know that probably won't be doing a show on Friday night.
Right. We probably will not. This will probably be the weekly show. Allison?
Hello.
Hi there, Allison. This is Greg in Hollywood from Off the Rail. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello, Allison. Can you hear us okay? Allison? Uh-oh.
Can you hear me, Allison?
Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
Can you
I
hear us?
Yes, I can now.
Oh, there you are. All right. Well, how are you this evening?
I'm great. Wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm absolutely ecstatic right now. I'm not going to lie to you.
Allison, I'm Larry. Everybody calls me Hollywood. Yes, Greg over here is very, very excited to have you on the show. So am I. And we'd like to thank you for coming on the show. And we're just going to start asking you some questions from the fan page. And also, Greg's got a few questions he definitely wants to ask you also.
Lovely. No problem. Fire away.
All right. Well, the first question I always ask when we talk to somebody, and I know it's one you probably been asked 1,000 times, but I'm just really curious, what was the first thing what clicked that made you say, I have to get a cue in my hand. I have to get into that.
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, I know when I started playing, and then it was watching snooker, which is a game on a 12 by 6 foot table being played on television, and my dad was watching it. He happened to be watching it, and I was sitting next to him, and I asked how the scores on the table worked, how, on the game, and he was explaining it to me, and then I asked for a small table, and I was only 7 years old, so I guess I had an affinity at that point, and once I got that table, which was only about 1.5 feet long, which was a silly part of asking for a small table, really. But anyway, I used to put it on a little tabletop and play everyone that came over to the house. And just my love for it grew and grew over the years. We moved to Sussex when I was 11 years old, and then we got a 6 foot table off of my uncle. And how that happened was that we used to go around to my uncle's house, and he had this slate-based 6 foot table leaning against a wall, and they would never get it out. 'Cause it'd take 2 or 3 people to lift it, to put it on something to play. So one day my dad bought it from him and brought it home, and we put it in a room that was slightly too small for it. And I consequently broke the kitchen window. So I learned to make my own space, and I also learned to do the massage shot quite well at that point. Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, that was it. I mean, it was obviously something in my mind that I was meant to be doing.
So.
Yeah.
Right. So was your family, were there a lot of shooters in your family at the time?
Oh, no, not at all. There wasn't anyone. My dad was just watching it. There was nobody playing it. It was only years later that my granddad said that he used to play it, but he played it a couple of times when he was alive with me. And I used to play my dad, but my dad didn't have any talent for it. And nor did my mum. So it wasn't really something I was pushed to doing in the family.
They probably wondered where the talent came, how you got the talent then.
Well, they probably did, but I loved sport. I loved any sport. I loved soccer, basketball, netball, field hockey. I was pretty good at hand and eye coordination. My other favourite game as a 7-year-old was a little shooting game called Magic Shot with little magnetic pellets that you lifted up and shot at targets, just a little one for kids. So I was fixated on that as well. So the two things. And I loved playing football, soccer. So yeah, I was a tomboy growing up, 2 older brothers, and yeah, I just loved it. I loved that tetherball too. We call it swing ball in England.
Yeah,
But
I played a lot of that when I was a
used to go red
kid.
in the face. Yeah, I used to go red in the face playing that. I was so determined to win.
So that's always kind of been deep in you, that the desire to just really win, huh? So what?
Yeah, well, competitiveness. Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
So, I mean, so you went from that little tabletop to your 6-footer, and then how did you come about to actually start playing snooker with somebody besides your family?
Yeah, well then my parents used to go drink in a local pub, Peacehaven Central Club, and they had one full-size snooker table in there, it's 12 by 6 feet. And I used to be mesmerized by it. You know, if we were in there, I would just be watching. So I learned a lot from watching. And then I just, one day I was just crying in my bed at home, and my mum came in and asked what was the matter. And I just said that I really wanted to get on that table. So my dad asked the owner if I could play. And then he said when it was quiet, my dad could bring me in and we could play a game. So we started a game, and then when the locals came in, we had to leave a table because I was obviously a bit young, but in the end they just let me play with them. So often it would just be playing doubles matches because there was only one table and everyone used to use it. So we're just playing doubles all the time. So I'd be playing with the older guys, and they just really took me under their wing, you know. So that was nice. And then at some point, a local older person going at lunchtime said that he would basically look after me if I went there at lunchtimes during the school holidays. So I started going down there at like 7 o'clock in the morning till 3 and playing, you know, with the older guys, which was good. It was lovely experiences that I had.
So at what point in time in your life did you say, all right, I'm going to do this for a living? At what point did you decide that this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life?
14 years old.
Wow, so you decided pretty young then, real young.
Yeah, well, I used to watch snooker on TV. I was very inspired by it. And I picked up a newspaper in the pub and I read about ladies snooker, right, that they had a world championships. Because at that point, I was a kid playing in a local pub and I didn't really think about the separation of sexes. It wasn't really in my mind at all. So actually, there's a ladies tour for this. So I found out how to get on that. And I started playing competitively at 15 years old. But prior to that, they put me in the A team at my local pub playing league at 13 years old. So I was having some competitive match play anyway. And then I started to play competitively in women's tournaments. But really, I was still playing with the guys. So it wasn't like, you know, it's a big deal. I was a kid playing snooker and I loved it. So it really, I wasn't thinking about the separation. And then I went from league snooker to playing national snooker, and then it became international. But at 14, my careers education teacher said to me, "What do you want to do when you leave school?" And I said, "I want to be a professional snooker player." And he said, "Yeah, but what do you really want to do?" So anyway, that was it. I was always, you know, that was pretty much what I had my mind on. And at that point, if you'd said to me, well, if you can't do that, what would you do? I was going to be probably a physical education teacher.
And I guess the next question would be is, I mean, obviously you eventually came over to the United States to come to play the game of billiards and so on and so forth. But I mean, your true love is still the game of snooker, I'm going to assume then.
Well, yes, no. I obviously have my love for pool, which is obviously I've been here 25 years, I think. 95 I came over. So I've been here that long, and that's nearly half my life. So I've spent nearly half my life here. So I've obviously learned the beauty of the game too. You know, in the beginning, yeah, shot making was easy to me, but there's so many art forms to it if you really get into it. So I love it, but what do I watch on YouTube or whatever? I watch snooker. I still really love watching that played at a high level.
I myself just started watching a lot of snooker myself. I mean, I've always watched the pool on YouTube and stuff too, and then I started to really appreciate the game of snooker. And I'm telling you, that O'Sullivan makes the game look pretty easy, doesn't he?
Oh well, he's a one-off, isn't he? He's amazing. But if you go back also, and you look at Stephen Hendry in his prime,
yeah,
and Steve Davis in his prime, they're amazing players. I mean, they barely missed. Sullivan is obviously a genius in his own right,
correct,
with his speed of play, and But if you look at Hendry as somebody who's ruthless, you could just got to look at his face. He's ruthless. And there was a question asked on Facebook recently. Somebody put up, who would you want to play the final game in a match if it was for the world title or whatever, like
correct,
your life? And Hendry would possibly be the one you'd pick, just because Ronnie had his ups and his downs, whereas Hendry in his prime was very,
that killer instinct, huh?
He really had. Do you know what? I played Stephen Hendry when he was about 14 years old. I was about 16 or 17, and I lost 4-2 or so. It was at a holiday camp. We were playing in a tournament. Anyway, I lost 4-2, something like that. And I came off that table and I said to my mum and dad, he's going to be a world champion. And it was his demeanour. You know it when you see it, and it's rare that you see it. But he's absolutely stood out around the table. His whole demeanour and his confidence was amazing.
I'm gonna guess when he walked off that table, he probably thought to himself, "You were going to be a world champion someday too."
Well, he may have. It's funny because I saw him only a few years ago in China. All these years later, and he's kind of like he's retired from snooker now, but he plays Chinese pool because he's sponsored. He does a lot of exhibitions in China, and he's a commentator as well, a very good commentator on snooker. And he said, "I remember the time you made 3 centuries against me in a match," and I'm like, "Did I?" Because I didn't remember that. But
it's funny how they don't forget when somebody does something to them.
Well, it's interesting that, because I'm kind of sad at what I might have forgotten in my life.
Well,
so I'm glad he remembers it like that.
So I guess the question is, so you're into the game of snooker and you're in deep, and that's really what you were focused on back in those days. So what brings Allison Fisher to the United States to play pool over here? What was the deciding factor to come across the pond, so to speak, and play pool in the United States?
I'm 27 years old, and I couldn't see the future. Couldn't really see the path. I had, at that point, much money in playing certainly in the women's side, and I'd played I think I was about 182 in the world rankings of men and women. And I just wasn't enjoying it. It came to playing the World Championships, which Matchroom supported, and it was in India, which was like 120 degrees heat. And I was playing in the semi-final, and it was miserable. My cue was sopping wet, and I turned around to my mother, who was there supporting me, and I just said, "This is the last time you're going to see me play snooker." So there was something in me that just had enough. And I wasn't motivated anymore. I needed a new challenge, and I thought, well, I'd played a little bit of pool along the way. I played the very, very first Moscone Cup. I'd played with Mike Massey in exhibition matches, and then with Ava and Steve Miserak versus Stephen Hendry and myself in a snooker pool challenge. So I kind of had a feel for it. I just wasn't ready in the earlier years to make that change, because I just wanted to win more snooker titles. And so I had a sponsor at the time who said, "I want to sponsor you for snooker." And I said, "Well, actually, my dream is to go to America now at this point. I want to find out how to get on the US tour and play pool and try and win a world title in pool." So he said, "All right, well, I'll help support you in that, with entry fees and airfare." And so that happened, and I got on a plane with a one-way ticket, a queue, and a suitcase. And
scary,
that was it, really. I just it was exciting, actually. It was actually quite exhilarating, because I was 27, and I was on my own, and I see the thing is, you can always go back, but you might not get that chance again to go forward. So
True.
that's the way I felt about it. I'm going to go for this opportunity and see what happens. And if I really hate it or I don't feel comfortable, I can come home.
Well, Mom and
So
Dad
it's
would always
nothing
welcome
lost.
you home, I'm sure.
Absolutely. My mum said, if you need me to pay for that ticket back, I'll get you back in a heartbeat.
She was
Well,
probably sad to
anyway,
see you go.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I can't even imagine it looking back. I mean, I was 27 and I was pretty sensible. So I don't think that's worrying from that point of view. But they did worry about America and, hearing about shootings and things. I think they worried about things like that are out of my control. But, as long as you're not in the wrong place at the wrong time and do things the right way, they trusted me. But if I look back, I'm thinking, wow, they let me go into the big wide world.
They probably, I mean, from the sounds of it, probably knew they weren't really going to stop you. I mean, you. It's the one thing about you that I think most people know. You are pretty determined, and you're gonna accomplish a goal. I mean, your career has been amazing, and there's
second to none as far as I'm concerned.
there's not much that you I don't think you can't do. It's so I'm sure it was a little awkward for them, but I'm sure they knew it was what had to be done. They knew they couldn't stop you, I guess. Did we lose her?
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there she is.
Every once in a while, we get a little bit of a delay. We're sorry about that, Allison.
I think
hear me?
Yeah, now I got
Can
you.
you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah,
now.
sorry about that.
That's okay.
No, so I don't know. I think it was like you just said. I mean, I was resolute that I was going to go, and I got on that plane and I went, and and I really didn't look back. I just kept moving forward, and I went home. First of all, the first tournament I played was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I came in 9th. And with that, I think I won about $1,200, which was more money than I won for winning a snooker tournament.
Wow!
So I was like, woohoo!
Party time.
Then a week later, I ended up winning. No, I didn't expect to win a tournament for 6 months. I was giving myself a little timeline. And I won it a week later in Orlando. That was my first win. And I didn't think I was ready to win yet, but I won. And so I won something like $6,000, and I was like over the moon. And then was the World Championships in Taiwan. So I went to Taiwan, and I came in 3rd in the Worlds. And then came back to the Nationals in Los Angeles at the Bicycle Club. And I won it. My dad came over for it, and I ended up winning $20,000, and it was just unbelievable, And the magic part was that my dad had come over all the way from England to watch, and that was the first time he ever saw me play pool. So yeah, and then he said, "Will you come home with me for Christmas?" I said, "All right then."
Okay.
So I went home with my dad, and celebrated Christmas, and then came back for the Santa Rosa tournament, the ESPN Ultimate Challenge in California, and I finished 2nd in that to Vivian, and she ended up playing CJ Wiley, which I was gutted about. But nevertheless, I mean, it was just an amazing start. And once you start like that, I mean, I've always thought once you know that you can win something, it just gives you that nice confidence. So I got on a nice streak straight away. So. And the other thing is, I was used to playing in front of audiences and TV. I've had lots of experience over the years before America, so I was very primed for winning.
Yeah, you're still out there winning tournaments.
Oh yeah, I'm still there. This decades later, every decade I've won a tournament, so it's been an absolutely amazing career, really.
And
so yeah, I'm still
managing. You still got a lot of years of pool left in you, and I guess that brings me to my question. How often are you competing these days? I mean, obviously we got a lot going on with the world right now, so there's not a lot of tournaments going on. But I mean, if this wasn't going on, how active would you be out there in playing in tournaments? Are you got so many set that you do a year, or is there kind of a schedule that you do?
Well, I was definitely going to partake in all WPBA events, national tournaments. And then I kind of cut back on China. I'm kind of a little over the long travel. So maybe I'll play in a World Championships or something major. But other than that, I won't go over for smaller events because it's just too much.
I know that they...
And go on.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I know that they had the, I think it was the WPA event or whatever. That was in Chicago last year. I think you came and competed in that, didn't you?
There wasn't one in, well, no, not in Chicago.
Oh, I thought it was
China.
For some reason,
I
thought I
didn't play
seen you.
China last year.
Oh, I thought I seen you on Q Sports Live in a Chicago tournament one time or something last year.
Oh,
but-
you may have, but that wasn't a world.
It wasn't.
event.
Oh, it wasn't a world
Yeah,
event, right?
no.
Okay.
I think I know which one you're talking
I
about.
won a WPBA event in Calgary at the beginning of the year, and then unfortunately everything else has been cancelled.
Right. Maybe that was the one I
So-
seen on Q Sports Live or something. I'm not sure. I can't remember
Oh
now.
yeah, that could be. That probably is it actually in Calgary. Yeah.
Them guys, I mean, pool is huge in Canada. I couldn't believe the amount of players up in that area. It was surprising.
Yeah,
once...
oh yeah. Well, it's a nice weather for it, isn't it? The nice, nasty weather at that time of year.
Well,
too.
yeah, you have nothing else to do but stay indoors and play pool in nice pool halls.
Yeah, or go on your snowmobile or snowshoeing or something. But anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and that was one of the Ashton Twins Classic. That was, and it was one of the
That's
best
what it was.
setups.
That's what it was, and it was on Q Sports.
Yeah,
Live, I'm positive. Yeah,
They did a magnificent job of the arena. It was fantastic. Like so much room around the tables. It was just so comfortable. But anyway, yeah. I mean, it's been obviously a lifetime of travel for me, which has been superb. But I also have family, so I'm spending a lot of time with kids and family, and enjoying the other side of life too, which is with this COVID stuff, as horrific as it is. I think it also makes people a little more present in their everyday lives, which it's certainly done for me. I'm really very hands-on with the kids at home, and we're still having some really great experiences. So that's the upside. The downside is I can't see my mum. My mum was going to come over for a month in April, and obviously that got changed. And so, you know, she's 80 now, and I'm sort of missing her, and I want to spend more time with her.
Well, family
So
is definitely important for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, absolute priority. I mean, certainly when you're younger, you have all these ambitions and goals, and nothing else matters. But certainly as I've got older, it's definitely the other way around.
Yeah, you start doing that. So I have a question, and actually a couple of viewers are kind of sharing this question, kind of about some of your matches that I'm curious as well about. If out of all the matches you played, which I know is just outrageous, I'm looking at my half a notebook of things you've done, and
and that's only half of what she's done.
And that's only half of what you've done. Yes, but out of all that, is there a match that really stands out to you that was one of your like your favorite match you played to this point? Something that just really sticks out, you know, really.
Well, one, I think I've got a couple of matches, but one was, you know, one of my arch rivals on the tour has always been Karen Kaur, because we're so similar in our approach. And we come from a snooker background, and she's like really tough to play and tough to beat. So I think one of the standouts for me was playing her in the semi-finals of the China Open, and I actually won 9-0, which was an unbelievable result. So that was a match that really stands out to me, because that's super tough to do against Karen. You know, she's one of the great competitors.
Yeah.
And then I think winning my first nationals was always a standout, because my dad was there, and it was the way I did it, because it was like, I remember the winning shot. It was I was looking at a safety shot, and then I'm like, oh no, there's a 3-ball combination here. And this sort of ignorance is bliss stage of your life. And I hit a 3-ball combination onto the 9 to win the game. So I mean, there's just certain things. And then the other standout was when I beat Robin Dodson, ESPN Ultimate Challenge. It was 6-6, right? I've got ball in hand to get in the final, but I don't think it was an easy out. So I hit the 1 ball onto the 9 ball. But I'm not kidding you, it's length of the table and about a half ball cut. And if you asked me to do that shot now, I'd say, oh, that's crazy.
Well, I'm going to have to go back and see if I can find the replay of that shot.
Meanwhile, I shot that shot and made it. If I was the other players sitting in the seat, I'd be thinking, oh, there's no way they're going to make that shot. You know what I mean? It was like so low, probably the percentage, because it was a half ball cut.
Right.
And anyway, I made it, and I really, looking back, it was like, that was a crazy shot. So yeah, but those sorts of things.
So a question for you is, obviously you're still out there playing a lot, and I'm probably sure you consider yourself probably still one of the best players out there as far as it goes for the women's divisions, certainly. But who is somebody that you look at, a young player out there that you just think, boy, this girl is gonna be the best or the greatest of all time? You got somebody out there that you look at and think, wow, this girl's going to be outstanding.
I think one of my favorite players is Chen from China.
Yeah.
Just a really good compact stroke, and super. She's humble. She's competitive. All the attributes that I like in a champion. The same. Kelly's always a great player. Kelly Fisher.
Sure.
She's always so competitive. But I think for the beauty of the game and the stylistic side of it, creativity and just doing what you have to do to win, is Chen Ximing is one of my favorites. She's about mid-20s now, I think.
Yeah, I seen her. I seen her play an exhibition match with Shane Van Boning on the YouTube not too long ago, and she hung right in there.
Oh yeah, she's a great, terrific player.
Yeah.
She's a standout for me as far as who's got it,
Have you had the opportunity to play her much or no?
Oh yeah, we're about even, I think. We're about even. My goal, at one point, she kept pounding me, and I was like, my goal in life is to beat her before I die. Which I did, so I was happy. Anyway, but somebody I really do admire, and I think, is disciplined around the table. There's not many. I could say some players are really good, but have they got that little extra?
Right.
I can't really name. There are some great European players. There are some great Chinese players, but there's that little something extra that champions have.
So I mean, you've played so many people that I'm wondering if this question's even valid. But is there someone that you haven't played that you would like to, that you think I've never played them, but I think I could take them?
No, I think I've pretty much played them all.
I was thinking about that.
No, not being funny, but I think ones that are up there and like all the top Chinese players, I have played them all.
Yeah, see, and I'm thinking about that when I'm asking the question. I'm like, well, she probably has played everybody.
Yeah,
I really have. There's not somebody new that I think, oh, I really got to play that person. Now, if they come along, I'd love to play them, but there's nobody I can think of that I don't know on the international tour or national tour that I think, oh yeah, that's a great player there.
So you do and have done a lot of work with the juniors. We actually have a couple of our viewers they do a lot of work with junior programs. One of our viewers, her daughter actually has a jump cue that you signed for her at a BEF Nationals back in Milwaukee a few years back, and
oh, nice.
And I mean, I remember you were just weren't you just in Vegas a couple? You were not 2 years ago for the BEF champion or nationals?
Yeah, we did. I was a coach 2 years in a row with the juniors playing Europe. So Europe versus America with Mark Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And also last year we went to Italy, Treviso, to play the Europeans on their home turf. And I was really, really proud of our players. I mean, the Europeans are super structured. There's no doubt. If you speak to their captain, Coach Thomas, I mean, it's really each country in Europe being current world 9-ball champion at 17 years old. Open champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think who did he beat Shane in the final? I can't remember who he beat in the final. He beat a Taiwanese guy, I think, in the final. Now that just shows you this guy's only 19. He was playing in the juniors a year before. He was way beyond his years, of course. But that's the standard that they're at. So a lot of these juniors, they barely miss. I mean, obviously people miss, but they're as good as some of the top. Last year's European players, the year before last, probably could have taken out 2 years ago the Moscone team. You know,
Wow.
so until the US Moscone team got better, let's put it that way, till they became a team, let's say. So last year our players played, and it was 11-4. The year before we got bageled to 0, which we had a lot of close matches. I mean, the score doesn't reflect how we played. But one thing I'm really proud about the USA juniors was that their camaraderie and their the way they motivated each other and, pushed each other. And that was really good. The sportsmanship, everything like that. It's just that there needs to be a lot more discipline in junior pool. And in order to do that, there needs to be more tournaments nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things have to work together, and there needs to be good coaching, wherever that comes from. And, like there's like systems in other countries. Johan, who's been working with the Moscone European team and then the Moscone USA team, obviously he's now built them into a proper team. And that's because he's a good trainer and he has set programs. He's worked around the world, in Poland, in Russia, being, the team coaches, I'm sure. And, it's basically about doing lots of drills. There's no doubt about it. I grew up creating my own drills, and I do about 4 hours a day of drills and not play anyone. I've just been focused on bettering myself. Drills, and what that means is you're bettering your technique.
I think we lost you just a little bit there. We got a little clouded up there for some reason.
Am I?
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
You're back again.
Tea break. No.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I don't know where I went off there. But the point is, by doing drills and motivating and then doing so many of them, sets of them, you're creating good habits at the table, and you're getting better, and you're creating good technique, and that is what holds you up under pressure. You can have all the willpower in the world, but if you've got a really poor technique, that's not going to serve you well.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You've got a good technique. You can have your low game can be still very good if you've got good technique, and that takes you through a lot of matches.
Well, I always tell everybody, if they wanna learn the game of pool, and they want to see somebody with the best fundamentals in the game, and I'm not saying this just because you're on the show tonight, but
sure?
I'm positive.
No, he does. I hear it a lot.
I tell everybody that will listen that if you want to watch proper technique at the table, you watch Allison Fisher play pool, because you, in my opinion, have the best fundamentals in the game. And I think Mark Wilson even agrees with me, because we had him on the show a couple weeks back too, and he says that you guys get together about once a year and work. Even you still to this day will go and work on your fundamentals and stuff like that. And I think
absolutely.
when it comes to that, I just think that there's no better person to watch play the game than Allison Fisher on the pool table, because she's just, everything is, you see her do the same shot every time.
Your pre-shot routine. I mean, it's so.
Yeah,
I can't even think of a
regimented.
Good word.
It's regimented.
It is,
isn't it?
and it's
certainly built into your system, and I'm assuming you're pretty much doing that without really even thinking about it. You've done it so much.
Well, I think because I don't play a lot now, I don't compete a lot, I don't practice a lot. I think that it is thought about more now. I think when you're playing and competing a lot, like we used to have a tournament every month on the WPBA tour, and then some in between, then it becomes very, it's just embodied in you. You just do it. Whereas when you're not playing a lot, you start to think about it, and you don't want to overthink things. And sometimes I've done that, of late. It's about trusting yourself. So you've got to trust all that preparation and practice that you do. So that builds the confidence.
Absolutely. And I guess another question is like I said, we did talk to Mark Wilson. He does a lot of coaching, goes around, does all them kind of classes.
He's terrific, Mark. I admire him so much as a person, and I always say to him, I wish we could clone you and make millions of you, because he's so good for the game. He's so kind and so sporting, and he just wants to encourage everyone. He's just so positive.
Right. And
what he does is so he doesn't charge an arm and a leg. He's just so he goes above and beyond. Put it
Well,
that way.
He told us, he said, if you want to get rich, you don't want to play the game of pool.
Right.
He said, he said he does
I
everything.
love him.
He says
Yeah.
he says he does everything for the love of the game, and I tend to believe him.
He
Yeah,
does.
that's how you can do it.
But you know, looking back, none of us played it to get rich. We played it because we loved it,
Absolutely.
Right.
Or we
Absolutely.
love it.
Right.
So you've got
The
to
money
look,
just
you've
kind
got
of
all
happened
sorts of-
along.
Well, I'm glad it did happen
Yeah.
because obviously I needed it.
yeah, I could use $20,000 for winning a pool tournament.
I
Sure.
know. I know, but do you know what I mean? It's not. Unfortunately, that's not the case now because we lost ESPN, we lost TV, which was a terrible thing.
And I
But-
agree with that. So so that brings me to the question that I was trying to get off the top of my head here is, what do you believe we need to do? Because this is something we always ask everybody. We've asked Mark Wilson, we've asked Dallas West, and some of the other guests on the show. What do you think it's going to take to get the game of billiards pool back on either television or some sort of a format in which that it'll gain national attention?
Yeah,
again?
get it back to the mainstream.
I think some team stuff, doubles, mixed doubles, I think would be a nice little entrance. All the tournaments like that where we were playing alongside the guys were good too, like men's, women's, and maybe a mixed doubles is fun. But I always think that's good for TV anyway. Maybe I think teams of some sort, whether it be east, west, north, east, south, west, I don't know, overseas, European, American, China, I'm not really sure what the answers are, but we had a little golden era of pool for sure, and also it was very popular. The numbers watched it, and everyone misses it on TV.
We do.
And our ratings were superb actually with ESPN. They were really good, even if we were a kind of filler sport. We were one of the few sports that was women's sports that was actually televised.
Yeah.
So which was very special, and we lost it because of 2008. We lost a lot of our casino sponsors. It all happened like dominoes, and that meant that we couldn't fulfil our hours on ESPN, and we didn't make it happen, unfortunately. And that's how we lost it, because we couldn't fulfill our contract.
And I remember that the first late night when I was like, oh, I get to sit and watch some good pool matches, and then there was axe throwing or something, and I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't right.
Yeah, it was just a shame, really. It was just, we had a really, looking back, it was a real golden era, and I came over just at the time and for the beginning of that, really, because Gordon's events for women started, and I wasn't in those, but I came over when the ESPN Ultimate Challenge happened, and my timing couldn't have been better, really, to enter the pool tour.
Yeah, you definitely hit the sweet spot when you came over here, and there was and the thing about it is back in those days, I mean, there was a lot of the great men's players, but the men's didn't really have a tour, or they weren't really on television. And when you turned on pool on ESPN, it was the ladies' events that you seen, so everybody knew who all the ladies were for sure.
And
definitely.
We were talking. We were like, if you asked somebody who didn't really even know much about pool to name a pool player, Allison Fisher was coming up. They were going to say Allison Fisher. They were going to say,
you were just very recognizable,
Yeah.
and for years, I mean, or the Karen Kors or the Janet Lees of the world, and so on and so forth, because that's who was on TV. That's who you seen,
And all three of you guys, you put on great TV. Like you said, your ratings were amazing because you guys put on. I mean, your matches were so entertaining. They were just. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you got to see some good pool.
And I don't know all the answers because a lot of people say pool can be boring, but I think because you enjoy it and you know a lot about it, obviously the way you're talking about it, you understand it, so you know what's a good match, what's a good shot.
Sure.
But then they're saying, well, you're trying to get the people who are surfing to stay on your channel and who don't know anything about it, and they might look at it as boring. It's so not. I mean, because you look at snooker, it's loved by millions. They earn millions. But if you just turned it on, you didn't know anything about it, you think, what are they doing? But it's such a great game. It's technically such a hard game. They make it look easy. But the same with pool, if it has good commentary and people start to get into it and understand it, then I think that makes a world of difference. Because look at poker. I think what makes poker, what makes cards, is is commentary.
Right.
No, they make it exciting.
Yeah, they can turn an offsuit 7-8 make it pretty interesting.
Well,
quick.
I just thought of something, Allison. Here you go. I mean, someday when you when you retire, you and Mark Wilson become the big commentators all the pool, and you can go around and do all the matches because you guys would be perfect at it.
Yeah, I could listen to that for a while.
I would love to commentate with Mark. We'd have such a good
Oh,
laugh.
I could listen to that for a while. I could definitely do that.
It'd be great. It would be funny.
Yeah, and like I've watched him do some commentating and stuff like out of the Derby City and stuff like that, and he's definitely fantastic at it. And he put out he does all he did that little clinic that last year where they taped that.
Right.
And that was really good.
Yeah.
So Mike, I guess for you, Allison, I know that I did a little research, and you also do some training sessions and stuff like that. Is there a place where people can go where they can sign up?
I live in Charlotte. Yeah, thank you. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I play out of racket and billiards, pool and billiards in Charlotte. And you can go on my website, AlisonFisher.com, or email at af@AlisonFisher.com. Obviously, at the moment, there's no plans for anything. But hopefully in the near future, I can set up some academies again and get coaching. And I'm sure Mark and me will do more in the future too, because I love working with Mark.
I'm going to have to make a trip out to Charlotte when all this stuff clears away and get a lesson.
Yeah,
I need
absolutely.
Allison, I need a lesson.
I'm sure that's where. And I have a question. One of our viewers that he actually runs a junior program here in the Quad Cities. He's asking if you have heard any updates for the BEF or Atlantic Cup Challenge.
No, but I'm pretty sure that won't be happening, because what I believe is that the BCA had the intentions of putting more junior events on across the country. So I think they were going to use their funding to hold more junior events, which I think is the right thing to do, and give the players more experience and more tournaments to play in, and make a national, amount of a national juniors over here instead of picking a few players to play in one event. So I think that would be the right thing to do.
The juniors things is definitely
right. Me and Greg always we've been trying. We're just west of Chicago a little bit, and around this area we used to have a nice pool hall in the area, and we used to have the youth involved out here, and now we don't have a pool hall anymore. So it's a struggle, and we would the future of this game is obviously in the. You got to have some young players coming up in the game. And if you don't have young players coming up in the game, it'll die. So
well, there's lots of really good juniors out there too that people don't know of, and I noticed that Pat Fleming at AccuStats put a few of them out there last year. 4 of them, I think, played a little tournament. I think that's great. More of that, so you can see the talent out there, because there's some really good players.
Oh, we just watched they had a big juniors event in Ohio just over this last weekend, and I was watching the finals of that. And now, mind you, the kids were 17, 18 years old at this point, but
Joey Tate,
and then we had our guy that comes from out of our area, Sam, who's only 14 years old, who 13 years old, who took third place in that event. Almost 60 players, and it was absolutely outstanding. And they put that tournament together just like in a moment's notice, and all of a sudden they were just going to have like a 16-man field or juniors event, and it turned into 60-some players, and they had to get a big arena, go rent tables, and do all sorts of stuff. So
they were over at Michael's Billiards there in Fairfield.
Yeah.
It was Mike TV from Billiards and Net TV. And they did the quad bracket, and it was a neat event. It was good to see all those
Schofield bracket or something like that they called it. Yeah.
Who won it?
Joey Tate. Joey Tate won it.
Fantastic. He's from North Carolina.
Yes, he is. Very. I mean, and that's why I was saying why I was like, wow, can this kid play? Wow.
Yeah, they were playing 9-ball, and the control. See, that's something that I love about pool is seeing, like just the control people have of themselves, the game, the cue ball, and things like that. And that kid, he was making everything, just making it work for him perfect. It was
he definitely made it look easy. I don't know if he's got a Fargo rate, but I'm going to guess it's in the upper 6s already.
Yeah, he played on the US junior team 2 years ago, and he's a terrific player because he won the award for good sportsmanship, and he's just a really good all-round person, Joey, and he's a great player. He comes from a big family that support him, He's like one of 12 or 13 kids. So he's got a lot of siblings.
Yeah.
I know. And his mum and dad support him, and it's just a really, really lovely family. So, you know, he deserves all the success.
So,
Absolutely.
somebody, and I just reminded one of our viewers reminded me, Mark's actually doing a clinic over in Durban, Illinois here in, I think was it August or September? He just reminded me of that.
Yeah. He's also doing one in Florida, I think, somewhere too, coming up.
Yeah, I think wasn't that closer to September, maybe.
Yeah, you know,
I'm not sure. Not sure, but they can go to his Facebook is Play Great Paul.
Yep.
Yep, we're all on that one.
They can always look him up and follow his clinic.
Yeah. There's something else I was gonna ask you about. I was checking out your website and seeing how much it was going to take to get you to come into the Pigeon Coop and play some pool with us, and I stumbled across the Allison Fisher cues, and oh my gosh, those things are beautiful. How did you?
Yeah.
How you hooked up with
Joe Peachower? What it was is I've been wanting to do a cue line for many, many years, and initially I was just going to do a women's only line, sort of custom built cues. But then, you know, a lot of guys follow me, and you know, I was going to do a shorter version and different custom lengths, which I've done, but it's for anyone basically. So we've created a really nice line, and you can get it made to measure. It's not an upcharge. You can get any wraps you want. Just beautiful woods too. A lot of lovely woods: Coca-Cola, Bacote, leopard wood. It's just some really nice combinations, I think, and good looks on a cue. And Joe is a fantastic cue maker. So it was lovely to be able to team up with somebody from the US and make it all in-house, in-home, and not import it, and you know, and just guarantee the work. So I'm very happy to be with Joe.
Yeah, they are just absolutely beautiful pool sticks, and I'm gonna start saving my money, and I'm gonna get me one.
I'll tell you what, the Rogue shaft plays fantastic. I just switched it. I won that Calgary tournament. I've only been using it 2 days, using switching to carbon fiber, and I was really impressed with it.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet. I currently am playing with the Jacoby Black shaft on my cue. And I mean, I like it, but I'm always open for options.
Yeah, so there's an option for you.
I'm always looking for the next best thing. So maybe I buy one of them, give one of them a try too.
Well, Allison says it's good.
Every pool player's looking for that.
Yeah. So, people wandered in here. So you said you mentioned that you're not playing and practicing much now. Just because you're spending a lot of time with it. I'm trying to figure out how to. Are you to a point where you don't think you might compete very much in the future, or?
I don't have that little determination that I once had. That little fire. I mean, it's definitely changing, I think. So I will compete. I just have to build up to it. You know, it's like I'm about to remodel my pool room at home so that I can start doing some YouTube stuff and teaching online. So that will be coming. And I think that's going to be my next step, is to do some online instruction for sure. Definitely. And then I'll compete as and when, you know, it works with the kids and my desire as well.
Right.
So outside of pool, before we let you go, I know we've had you on here for a while. So outside of pool, what does Allison Fisher like to do? I mean, I understand you got the family and do all that kind of stuff, but is there you got any other hobbies that you like to do besides the game of pool?
Well, I only did yesterday or the day before. I was being thrown off the tube on the lake.
I don't know if that's a hobby so much as that's dangerous.
Yeah, I know. I've got my boy next to me, and he's loving it, and we're bumping over all these waves, and all of a sudden I hit one, and then I was gone, and he was still hanging on. I don't know how, but yeah, I do. We've just had a lot of fun here. We're swimming and jumping in the lake and doing silly stuff. I like to live on the edge a bit, you know.
a bit of a thrill seeker.
A bit of a thrill seeker.
I am a little bit of a thrill. So I like the life of adventure.
She hopped on a plane and said, "I'm not coming back."
I'm
not coming back.
I'm going to America, Mom. See you later.
That's it. I'll see you around. I bought a trailer, so we go camping. You know, we're just we're doing all the things that we can still do safely and as a family. I went to, but I travel and I enjoy life. I have to say, it's been really lovely. It's different when you're traveling for work. You don't get to see much. You just go there, sit in a hotel, go to a tournament, play the tournament, come back, rest, go to the tournament, play the tournament. You're just back and forth between a hotel.
Yeah, I've noticed. I noticed that a lot too. You just don't get to see. There's no sightseeing. There's no enjoyment of it. You just go in there and you got a particular thing in mind, and then in and out.
You're conserving your energy for one thing. You don't want to be out and about during an event, and after the event, if you're there on your own, that's no fun. Just go out and do things on your own. So I'm getting to enjoy being present and really, seeing things properly nowadays. I live in a beautiful place in Denver, North Carolina, so I can't complain at all. And so I do my little thrill seeking here and there.
Maybe take up skydiving or bungee jumping or something.
I might do. There might be video of me skydiving at some point. You don't know. It can happen. I am open to that. I go deep sea fishing. I cut down trees. I do all sorts here. I love it. I love working on the land.
And like everything Allison does, she's probably the best at it.
Yeah, she's probably really good at it.
Well,
too,
I wouldn't go that far. It's
except for
funny,
the tubing part.
You saying that, I'm very meticulous on a pool table, but I'm very airy and all over the place off the pool table. So I go into a room and I forget why I'm there, and
Well, that comes with age.
So she is human.
That comes with age. I mean, that's been happening to me a lot too. I'm lucky if I can, if I walk into a room and I'm sometimes I'm just completely lost.
Well,
I'm like, what was I in here for? Why was I coming out? That was something.
I got a couple viewer questions I want to get to because some of them are interesting. We asked you about the Atlantic Cup. One of our viewers asked, Eddie asked, is there before when you were playing for a term, when you were still competing pretty regularly, what was your pre-tournament regimen or routine? What did you do to get ready and to prepare yourself for the tournament? Did you have a regular routine that you went? Did you go practice a little bit right before the tournament and then hang out, watch TV? Or
I think right before you want to be quite relaxed. You're probably more intense a couple of weeks before an event, and again a bit of a mix of routines, doing some drills and then playing some match practice against people. And then the night, funny enough, you might laugh you probably will laugh at this, but if I look back, almost inevitably I would do a lot of housework the day before.
Yes, you're right. That is funny.
I do a lot of housework the day before. I don't know if that's kind of keeping my mind occupied.
I was just going to say, just keep your mind occupied and clear it off so you ain't thinking about the match.
I'm really hoping my wife's not listening to this because then she's going to go, Alison Fisher said if you clean the house before you play a tournament, you're going to do really good.
Now we're all in trouble. Now we're all going to have to clean house.
And it was funny the other day. I was listening to, I think it was Christina to Catch, talking with April Larson on Facebook, and she said she does the same. It tickled me because she said she starts doing stuff like that the day before. But anyway, then you want to be rested. You want to sleep well, never overeat at a tournament. It's meal planning in a sense. You never overeat because you can't think straight if you like that. It's a very mental game. I get lots of rest. I don't hang out around people a lot at a tournament because that's mental energy. I'm so my little energy for myself,
Right.
So I tend to go away after I play and be alone and
see. Now
take cat nap.
I do that myself too. I kind of distance myself. I'm not that good. So, but I do that. When I'm in a tournament, and everybody's like, "Why you're so antisocial? Why don't you want to hang out?" Because I'm there to shoot. That's what I'm doing. I didn't come to hang out with you guys.
It's a job. It's a job. I'm not that. I mean, I love socialising with my friends, but that's all for after the tournament. And if they've gone home,
right.
And I'm lucky, but that's my place of business.
Right. That's your job. Yeah.
Yeah, it is my job, and that's
Yeah.
how I make a living. So I have to treat it seriously.
Right. I don't come to your office
And
and ask you about
everything
copies.
changed.
Right.
Yeah, everything changed for me when when you're out on your own. I mean, it's one thing it being a hobby, and suddenly when you have to make a living and pay a mortgage and pay for things, then it becomes different. So
Right.
it definitely changed once I left home.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
But anyway, it's all good. I mean, it just made it more serious. But yeah, I would say to rest a lot, to be relaxed, preparation properly, and eat the right way, take yourself snacks for the event. Anything that you might need that keeps you comfortable.
Right.
Because if you're in a really long, I'll tell you what, last year, I've had some really extremely long matches. They don't feel like they're that long. They've lasted a few hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great matches have gone nil-nil. But you have to take a long snack if you need it, especially if you get to my age. Like, your blood sugar drops a bit. But you have to take, what you need for those in-between moments. Bananas, whatever it is, snack bars. Just you've got to have it on your person so you're not like starving to death and trying to think.
Don't try to
at the
play
same
Superman
time
and
and at the same time not overeat, So
right.
you learn about yourself really during those times.
That is my weakness. We go to these venues and the food usually gets me too.
Oh, well, you don't see. That's the thing. The greasy, often it's not very healthy food, and my body's not used to that anyway. I eat pretty healthily at home, so if I go away, and I won't be eating all the greasy food because that just doesn't sit well with me. So I like a lot of salads and meat and stuff like that, but I won't eat pastas at tournaments or steaks before I'm playing matches. So.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what works for you, and
Yeah.
like I said, you got us all in trouble now because now,
Yep.
our girlfriends or wives
You're
or whatever
be doing housework.
are going to make us
Yeah.
clean the house before we go to a tournament, and they're going to make us eat healthy
Yep.
while we're there.
Allison Fisher says, "Clean the house
Clean
and eat
shop.
salad." Yep.
Yep.
There you
Shop.
go. There you go.
Keep it nice and tidy, so when you come back, it's all ready for you to just come home and relax.
Well, we're having a ton of fun hanging out with you, and I don't want to keep you much longer because I know we could probably go on forever. I have two more questions. I have one more. I have a viewer question. They want to know, Nate wants to know if you still hold the record for the most consecutive breaks and runs during a tournament.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the record is. I made 6 when I first came over, and then I played safe, which was stupid, really. So I was playing Laura Smith in a tournament, right? And she beat me. She knocked me into the B side, right? The losers bracket. So I come back and I ended up playing her again. I made 6 breaks in a row because remember we used to play win a break.
Correct.
We don't do that anymore. So we haven't done that for years, in fact, because a lot of the matches were too one-sided. But anyway, Laura and me played at 6-6, and then I remember I had a really tough shot on the one, so I didn't take it. I played safe, and I didn't realise at the time that I think I think I'd equalled the record or something with break and runs. But I didn't know it, and I don't know what it is at the moment, so I don't know.
We'll have to dig it up. I lied. I got one more viewer question, then I got mine, and then we'll let you
Go
enjoy
on,
your
then.
night. Sal wants to know what is something that you would want people to say about you as a legend? If people, I guess what he's asking is, what do you want people to remember you for, as far as your career and things?
I think sportsmanship. I think to be a good sport on and off the table. I think that's really important to me, and consistency. I think in what I've done, the consistency. So I think good sportsmanship is always something to be remembered by.
Oh yeah.
Not going to get an argument from
no,
me.
No. And then I have one, unless Larry has anything else.
Go ahead.
I have one other question. You've had such an amazing career. Like I said, I have my small half a notebook about things you've done, which is probably a quarter of what you've actually done. And you've probably been interviewed more times than you can even remember. Out of all those interviews, what is something that no one's ever asked you that you left the interview and you said, "Man, why has nobody ever asked me this?" What is something that nobody's ever asked that nobody knows that Allison Fisher never got to tell anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Well,
I don't have any talents in other areas.
Nobody's asked you about your tubing career or your tree cutting
Tubing
abilities.
career.
Yeah.
Yeah. My garden expertise, gardening. Yeah, no.
House cleaning abilities before the big tournament. Nobody knew it.
I have no hula hoop abilities. I know that.
She cannot.
I oddly enough am really, really poor at hula hoop. I am just absolutely awful. I actually twisted my ankle trying to hula hoop about 5 years ago. That is no joke.
I have not done that. And that's embarrassing, really.
Yes, it was absolutely embarrassing for
me. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really sure about that question. I can't think of anything off the bat.
It'll come to you when you least expect it. You'll be cleaning your house, eating your salad.
I'll call you back.
Yeah,
I'll call you back and go, oh.
Yeah, you can call us anytime you want.
You call anytime you want.
We do the show normally. We do it every Friday night, but we made accommodations for you tonight so we could do it on Monday.
That's
and everybody's
very kind of you.
And we're also going to tell you, so because we like to talk to a lot of pool players, and we are so grateful that you came on the show with us tonight. And if Greg's got your number. If you ever want to text him, some other people we can talk to and get on the show, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Lovely, no problem. I will.
You tell them how absolutely awesome we are.
Yeah.
And the amazing questions that we ask. The deep diving issues. So.
Right. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
It's been an absolute pleasure to. You can ask anybody that's been around me since when we talked to Mark, and Mark started talking to us about setting this up, and our friend Fridley. I've been absolutely giddy to talk to you. I've watched so many of your matches, and watching you shoot was one of the things that just there were those times where I was like, I'm done with pool, and then I'd be sitting there in the middle of the night and I'd flip on, oh look. And I'd start, nope, I guess I'm going to have to keep playing now. So it's just...
Thank you.
This has been an absolute pleasure. We really appreciate it. Maybe you can stop by the TNT page and hit a follow on there. And, of course, anytime you want to share anything.
I did share it, actually, on my Facebook.
Yep. We'll send everybody over your way to your page, too, for future lessons when them get started and all that kind of stuff. And,
Lovely.
It's all about growing the game. And the more people we can keep interested, the longer this game will stay alive, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We look forward to future work you're going to do with the juniors, because like Larry said, that's something we're very big on. We are we're very big on getting those kids playing and stuff like that. And I know all the kids that have met you. I say a couple years ago we had a kid, a youngster that went out to Vegas for BEF championships, and they were talking. I thought you were out there doing commentary or something. For a stream.
I was, I did do some of that. I was out there scouting and doing the commentary. It was terrific. I loved watching it.
And it was, I love seeing the joy on these kids' face when they go and they do these tournaments and they get to meet people like Allison, like yourself, and they just they get so excited, and how much it really just makes them go, God, I want to keep playing. I want to be, I want to do that, and that's why we do what we do. We're all about putting a light on the people that promote and grow our sport and do it. And you have left one of the biggest marks on this sport. I mean, and I'm sure you'll agree, there are a ton of people have, but it'd be hard to say that Allison Fisher wasn't one of the very biggest marks on the sport. You put it in a place that it needed to be at a time, and and unfortunately it didn't go any farther because whatever weird circumstances. I'm still blaming Texas Hold'em. I think Texas is what kicked you guys off TV, and that still makes me mad. As much as I love the game.
Maybe.
But
yeah.
But
cards.
But
well, I appreciate the compliments. Thank you so much.
We do really appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. And like Larry said, if you ever want to come back on and talk about anything, if you've got some stuff coming up, or want to come back and talk and tell people about it, you have my number. Go ahead and hit us up, and we'll get a hold of you. We'll share a bunch of stuff. We'll be looking for things you do. We'll be sending people over to get some sticks and trying to talk one of them into giving one to us because
Yeah, right.
they're really pretty.
I like them. I like them a lot.
So they're absolutely awesome. But this has been we've been talking with Allison Fisher on Off the Rail. Thank you so very much. I hope you have a great night. Weather's pretty good down there lately, hasn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's too hot in the day, but it's gorgeous in the morning and the early evening.
Good.
Really lovely.
And in North Carolina, you got some good porches to be sitting on too, don't you? I bet you have a
Oh,
really...
it's lovely.
I bet
oh,
you
it's
do.
lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I'm very lucky. But I would just want to say to everyone, thank you for tuning in and stay safe. And it's really crazy times and it's tough. And just to do what you got to do and to be safe.
And you be safe out there tubing.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you.
Thanks, Allison.
You have a great night, Allison. Thank you for letting us talk to you.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks so much.
Uh-huh.
Bye,
Thanks,
bye.
Allison.
Bye.
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 Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I might be a little red in the face. That was
Allison Fisher, ladies and gentlemen. See?
Allison Fisher.
So that was a pretty big deal.
That was
And then we can talk to her. We can get some more numbers. Maybe we could talk to like a Karen Core or a Jeanette Lee or something like that.
I'm trying, Eddie. I'm trying to breathe.
You know what we should do since we're standing here.
Yeah.
We should probably call Dallas West back and see what he wanted. Because I know the people are probably pretty excited that Dallas West is calling us back for some reason. I'm not sure what he wants. But the thing about it is, he's probably calling. He probably thinks you got your number mixed up with something else. Probably doesn't even know.
Well, I'll message him later, and we'll do something.
Okay. All right. So, anyways, we had Allison Fisher on the show. So now let's talk about this real quick so we get this out of the way. Our guy, Sam
Rhino Henderson.
The Rhino, he took third place out in that Ohio. Now, and you heard Allison Fisher talk about
Joey Tate.
And Joey Tate is a monster on the pool table. Now, if you guys didn't get a chance to watch that juniors tournament, now him and I, we were going back and forth, and whenever Sam was on, we definitely were on there and we were watching it, and we got a big congratulations to Sam. We're going to get Sam on the show.
Yep.
We're actually going to bring Sam in. Well, the parents are going to bring him in because he's not old enough to drive or anything yet.
Yeah.
And yet he's finishing third place in this big big tournament.
Well, don't tell them, but we're going to talk to them too because they're pretty cool for letting Sam do what he does.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but don't tell them about that.
We're gonna bring Sam in and get him on the show. Maybe let's try to get him in here next Friday.
Maybe next Friday we'll try to set it up. If you got Sam and Tracy and you guys, Nate, if you're watching, maybe we'll try to set Sam up for next Friday.
Yeah, but
it was 54 or 55 kids all together. They said showing up. He said Mike mentioned that Mike talked about us a little bit on the stream.
Yeah, that was nice, and we appreciate
because we did talk to Mike last Friday beforehand. He was explaining some stuff to us. They actually had two different streaming there. LBS was there streaming as well. So they were covering a couple tables, and Mike graciously, and I thank you again, Mike messaged me and said, "Hey man, Sam's getting ready to he's getting ready to be up on the stream." And boy, when it was like as soon as Sam got on the stream, he started putting it together, man.
Sam, the thing about it is and I'm sure Sam will agree with me. And Sam's he's almost bigger than I am already. He's only 13, so I don't want to lip off to him too much. But, I watched Sam. He probably didn't realize that I was paying attention to this game, but because that's what I like to do. I like to watch people play. I like to see where they're at. And then I like to see him play like a year down the road or 2 years down the road. I brought up Jack Dillman like a couple weeks back about, a couple years ago, the guy couldn't make 3 balls in a row. No offense, Jack, but you couldn't. But now the guy's dedicated himself to the game. He goes out there. You can just tell the guy is hitting balls every single day or as much as possible. Same way with Sam. Sam was a young kid. He got into the game of pool, and I watched him play. A couple years back, I ran into him at Sharky's, and I think I've already told this story before. But he could play. He could make he could make a ball or two here, but you could tell that the game was very frustrating to him because he had guys like around him like Timmy Bly and some of the little bit older kids that were already caught on to the game, and he was a little bit behind them. But now that's not the case anymore.
No, Sam's
the
got
Rhino has arrived, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And he's only going to get better. He's only 13 years old. And I know that Sam probably thinks to himself, I got to get better. 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 You are getting better, Sam. And trust me, you got all the tools. You got a family that's going to support you.
Mm-hmm.
and you got the equipment in the basement down there. You got a 9-footer and a 7-footer. You can play all the pool that you want. All I ask you to do is just keep your grades up, and do the right thing.
And he is. That's what I was talking about. That Sam's doing. He's putting the work in everywhere it needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know that at 13 years of age, I'm probably pretty sure, just like Allison Fisher just said, at 14 years old, she decided this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And I hope that that's what you do for the rest of your life, Sam. And if you don't, but you also got to keep the education. You got to do the things it's going to take to advance in life. And maybe pool will always just be something that you do for fun. But it also he could be the next Shane Van Boning for all we know.
I don't doubt his future bright.
And if he is, I'm just going to follow him around and try to borrow money from him all the time.
If he ends up, Sam, we were there. We were there from the get-go.
Yes, and I know he's got at least $400 on him right now. I know, unless he probably figured out a way.
He's
to
in Peoria meeting Justin Bergman right now.
Oh well, hey, what's the score? Do we have an update on the score down there?
Does anybody know what the score is? I haven't got online to look yet.
Because I took the upset. I took Gomez
100
to 87, and it's not looking good because Bergman, last I knew, was already on 80, and Gomez was on 72, down 8. And it's not looking good. But like I said, my prediction from Dave's place wasn't bad.
No.
I ended up taking second. Steve Oder took first. So I was close. I mean, I was close. But Steve kind of put a beating on me in the finals. It is what it is.
You didn't even get a chance to take it to the double.
No,
dip.
he stifled me. I mean, it's a short race, so on and so forth, Steve. I'm not afraid of you, buddy. I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of your wife because she looks like she whooped somebody's butt. I'm not so scared of you.
Sam Maggio says last he knew it was 92-82. Who, Bergman's still up then?
Bergman, yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. And I did say this. I mean, I took Gomez just because everybody was picking Bergman, and I was just like, well, I want to throw a number out there, and don't get me wrong, they could start another race to 100 tomorrow. And Gomez could win.
Right.
I mean, when you're talking big table 8-ball, I mean, a lot of people don't realize this, but the game of 8-ball, depending on who you ask, but if you ask me or if you ask anybody that usually knows anything much about pool, the game of 8-ball on a big bar table on a 9-footer is easier than on a 7-footer, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. So you see a lot more runouts. You see a lot more the ball scattered when they break.
There's not as much congestion.
Right. Yeah. So there's a little less to get around and whatnot. But so, when you got them two calibers of players, Gomez could easily come back and win another race to 100. But that's why you play the game, and that's just the kind of way it works. And my prediction's looking pretty bad right now. But I did get the other one.
Well, he's already won more than the 87. It's 92-82.
Yeah,
or better.
I understand that. That's why I'm saying my prediction
it's not looking good. A couple things before we get too far out of it. We were talking about Sam. If you haven't yet, get on the train now. Follow Sam over at Sam Rhino Henderson on Facebook, his fan page. Keep up with all the cool stuff Sam does. I'm
sure you'd be open for some more sponsorship.
I was going to say, Sam, he's got a couple good sponsors right now that take care of him, and he does such a good job taking care of them. He is very, very professional when it comes to taking, to keeping his sponsors up there and letting people know, and I love the way Sam handles himself.
Well, that McDermott cue that he's got, I ran into Sam last time we were over at Legends, and him and Timmy buy both, and I think Justin, can't remember Justin's last name. I think he was there too, Nichols or something. I think his last name is. Yeah. But anyways, they got the McDermott cues out. They had just gotten them. They hadn't had them very long, and I went over to Sam and I said, "So this is what the rich people play with, right?"
He just got his McDermott carbon fiber shaft too.
Yeah, and so that's what I was trying out, and I was hitting that, and I'm going to tell you, folks. I mean, people will say, carbon fiber's carbon fiber. It is and it isn't, because I've hit the Revo, I've hit the Jacoby Black, I've hit the Frenchies,
Risen.
The Risen Q. They all hit good. I mean, they all hit good.
But there is a
difference between them, though. I was hitting that McDermott shaft, and I was hitting that, and I was like, there's just so, I want to buy everything. Is there? I mean, and then of course,
we get on that plane and go to America and win a championship,
right? And then you got Allison Fisher on her and them cues that she's got, and I'm telling you, boys and girls, and we're not saying it just because she was on the show. No. Well, maybe a little bit, but The cues that she's got on that is, I mean, just outstanding, just beautiful cues.
Oh,
And and like she said, different carbon fiber shafts, different combinations that you can make up with these cues now. I mean, it's just, they're second to none. So, there's a lot of good cues out there, a lot of good shafts. I mean, it all depends. You got to find your combination, see what works for you, and then, stick with it. Or you could be like Jason Welker and buy a new cue every couple, 2-3 months. And
that was Hollywood, Jason. I didn't have nothing to do with that. So don't forget, we will not be on air Friday night. Hollywood's going to go do his DJ gig.
Whiskey Barrel, 9 o'clock.
Whiskey Barrel.
To close, playing all your favorite tunes from yesterday and today.
Tracy says if you get a Defy, tell him that Sam sent you.
What's that?
She says if you get a Defy, tell McDermott that Sam sent you.
Well, I'm considering on getting one, but right now the finances dictate we won't be buying it.
When
any new
him and
cues.
Sam hook up, him and Sam can be partners, and they'll go gamble with some people, and Sam can win him some bunch of money, and then he can buy one.
Sam's not going to want me as his partner. I mean, I'd be like carrying around a lead balloon, But no, I mean, I know that I know that I talk.
I'm going to tell somebody because I've never heard Hollywood say this very often, but he actually I remember the other day he told me I ain't playing Sam. Sam will beat me.
Well, he probably would. I mean, we are the same handicap. Well, according to Peoria, we're the same handicap. And he went further in that tournament than I did. I mean, we both lost to Gonzalez.
And he was
Ben,
actually in Ohio,
and
too.
Ben was out in Ohio. I don't know how he did. I didn't hear anything.
I saw he was on the stream once. We were watching him on the stream I was watching him for a little bit. I didn't see where he went.
Well, and Ben's he's going to be an up-and-coming player. I mean, I watched him play enough. I mean, I watched enough. I seen enough out of him in Peoria to know that he can play.
Right. Well, there were no slouches. I mean, I didn't. The kids I watched in that tournament from Ohio, there were not very many.
They're fearless.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're 15 to 18 years old, you ain't scared of nothing.
Right. Exactly.
And that Joey Tate. I mean, you could just see. Well, you could see the kid's been playing a long time.
Right.
I mean, I don't know when he started playing, but and like I said, I don't even know what his Fargo rate is, but I'm going to guess just by watching him play. I'm just taking a stab at it. I mean, I don't know. You'd probably look it up on your thing.
I probably could.
I'm okay. Here's my guess. I'm going to guess I'm going to guess he's a 675-ish, right in there. Fargo.
I'm
just guessing. I'm just guessing.
We're going to see here.
See if I'm right by what I've seen him play on television or on the stream.
I'm going to look. I trust Tracy. She's telling me he's a 670.
Am I right?
Is that what you said? I wasn't listening to you.
Oh, I said 675.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, she says,
and just by watching him, and the thing about it is that Joey Tate. I mean, it ain't going to take long. It ain't going to take long, and that Fargo rate's going to go up by 100 points because that kid plays good. Now, I don't know how much he plays on a big table, but I'm assuming he plays, probably just as sporty on a big table than he does on a bar box.
He's got to be doing something right because Allison knows him.
Right. Well, he's from North Carolina.
Yeah, he is.
Right up her neck of the woods.
They probably play in the same house. They probably play in the same bar.
Yeah, probably. Well, she said. I forgot the name of the billiards place, so we'll have to get that up. We'll put some links up.
Yeah,
on the
we
TNT
will.
Page.
Yeah, you'll find out.
I'll put some stuff up on the Pigeon Coop page too.
We'll link to all the
also.
stuff for Allison. So, but anyhow, I have mid sentence. We won't be on the air on Friday. He's gonna do his DJ thing. I'm still gonna be recovering from talking to Allison Fisher. And we've got some tournaments coming up. We're going to be at Wise Guys in Dixon on Sunday at 1:00. I will have some information here a little later. I'll post some new flyers for that. Tracy says Allison coached Joey on the line. Yeah, she said that. She did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm still in a little bit of awe. I'm waiting to wake up and have to go to work. I'm sorry, dude. You're like, oh, she's just like regular people. I know she's just like regular people, but she happens to be a badass regular person.
Did you heard about her too?
I heard about her.
I mean, she's human.
That did make me feel a little better about it because that was hilarious.
Although I keep picturing her up in a tree, like cutting down a big branch off of 20 feet up in the air. Who is that? That's Allison Fisher up there cutting down a branch.
See, and like when we, and that's something when we talk to Dallas and then we talk to Allison, that's something I like is, I mean, I like finding that side of those people like that,
Sure.
where you're like, Oh, we could hang out.
Well, and the thing about it is what a lot of people don't realize is, I mean, we're all regular people.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're a football player, baseball player. I mean, everybody's people are
Well,
just
let's not get a little.
people are people. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, sometimes the money can go to the head. I mean,
right.
you've seen it happen with many megastars that make millions and millions of dollars, and something goes haywire when they make all that money. But, you don't. I mean, in the pool playing community, and you find that most people, no matter who they are, they're just regular Joes. They all have flaws. They have their good points, bad points, and so on and so forth. Just like the rest of us, they're just people.
Sam, to answer your question, Jesse's here right now, and Jesse. I want everyone, for those listening, Jesse pointed out to us that Joey Tate is a 670 Fargo rating, and Rick Carrillo is a 669. So, all right. Yes, we'll be at Wise Guys Sunday. We're going back to Dave's place, August 8th. We're going to start that one an hour later than we did this past one. We're going to start at 1 o'clock. I'll break at 1 o'clock there. She's got some stuff going on a little earlier in the day on Saturday, so we'll start a little later. I'm trying to think of what else we had going on. There's going to be I'll be posting some more stuff over at Facebook too, as far as like links for Allison and things like that. Check out definitely go and look at the cues. They're absolutely beautiful, and you can look at the stuff she's got going on. She's got a really cool fan page on Facebook to check out. You can kind of see the things that she was talking about. Seem lost. I'm super proud of Sam.
Me too.
It was so awesome to he struggled a little first. He admittedly he wasn't real. He struggled a little bit the first day. He kind of hit a rough spot, and what makes me happy about it is he recognized that he wasn't shooting to where he thought he should be, and
we all have.
But he didn't let it get him down. It didn't, you know what I mean? He came back and he trooped through.
And I will say this is one of the things that I noticed with Sam when he was a little bit younger, and I'm sure his parents will probably back me up on this one. Sam used to get really, really upset when he'd lose a match. And he was young, and he's still young, and he's still going to get upset, and he's still going to have them moments, But the thing about it is as he gets older and as he learns the game more, what you learn in the game of pool, because the game of pool will humble you. You can play the best pool of your life, and somebody will come in and just run you over. You get bad rolls. This will happen. That'll happen. It happens. That's the game of pool. That's why it's such a great game, because you have to play the game in order to figure out who's going to win. It's just not like, you got this particular football team that's just way better than this one, and they just steamroll them every time they play them. In a game of pool, if you got two players that can play the pool, you might have a 100-point gap in the Fargo rate system, for example. But that doesn't mean that guy's that's on paper the better player is going to win.
Fargo only rates your results; it doesn't rate your passion.
I understand that, and you show heart. But anyways, back to Sam. I mean, back when I was watching him play, I mean, he would get visibly upset when he would lose just one particular match, because he didn't. The game of pool teaches you values in life, such as losing. You don't always win. You don't always. Not everybody gets a trophy.
No,
just my opinion. But it's just, and it's how it works.
Whole nother show.
Yes, it's a whole other show. But what I'm saying is that's what the game of billiards will teach you. It'll teach you valuable lessons, not only just for the game of pool, but for life also.
You gotta get that not losing but learning mindset.
Yeah, and now I see Sam lose a match. Yes, is he still upset? Of course.
Well,
but he's not
we
visibly
upset.
He's to the point where he's like, "Oh my God, my life's coming to an end."
Right, exactly. His mom, Tracy says we call it his passion for the game. Nate Kennis, Sam's dad, says Timmy Bly and Sam Henderson versus Larry and Will.
Yeah, we'll take that match.
I will stream that in a minute. You guys get that set up. Let me know. I will put that flyer together, and we will stream the heck out of it.
I will send Will a message, and we can go over to Clinton, or we can do it right here, or we can go to.
Let's figure that out.
Sharky's.
That would be
wherever.
awesome. That would be a pretty good match.
No, we'll steamroll him.
Oh,
You heard it right here. Timmy Bly, Sanderson.
Wait, where's it at? Where's that?
What are we looking for? Yeah, we're calling you out. Me and Will Thompson versus you two chumps, and we're gonna beat you down. Let's do like a Scotch, like a doubles race to. I don't care the money. You guys can figure. I don't care about the money. I play for free. I play for pride. I don't care. But whatever. You guys figured out. Do like a race to do a big race to like 20 or something.
You guys figured out. Let us know.
And I'm going to tell you what the score of that's going to be.
Oh.
And if we'll race to 20, and me and will beat you 20-14.
Ooh.
That's my prediction.
Ooh.
Now I just got to get Will to get on the same page with me, because Will might go over there and say, "Well, maybe I take the night off,
right? Not feeling so good,
or maybe he decides to shoot left-handed or something, or twist an ankle, or God knows what."
Well, see, you could do it at the Pigeon Coop.
Yeah, we could do it here.
Would actually be real. That'd probably be really.
It'd probably
good.
be the easiest, but,
right? It probably would. Maybe we can incorporate it with the. Maybe maybe with the weekend we talk to Sam.
20-14 though.
20-14. Maybe we'll do a special Saturday version of Off the Rail, and then we'll stream the match.
We can do it.
Or stream the match and then do Off the Rail.
Well, we'll get a hold of Will. I'll send him a message. He's probably not listening anyways, because he's he's got a lot going on. He's just he's just a bad baby.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He's got a lot going on in his life, so I don't know how much he's hitting balls right now, but I still trust him. We can beat them young whippersnappers.
2015.
Back when I was their age, I used to walk to school uphill both ways. It was 150 degrees on the way to school, and it was 6 foot of snow uphill on the way back. I mean, it was just brutal every day. We're tough. We're tough.
We're tough like that. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We got some people who want to play, although they should have been playing right now because it looks so cool when we're doing a show. But anyhow,
yeah, just clean the table too. It's nice.
Make sure you watch this episode numerous times to listen to the amazing conversation we had with Allison Fisher. Again, Allison, we appreciate you the time coming on and talking to us.
Absolutely.
It's so awesome. I like I said, I love getting to talk to these people. If there's somebody you guys want us to talk to, let us know. Let them know. Find them, tell them, give them the TNT number. It's 833-868-7665. Tell them you got to get on the show and talk to these guys. That's what all the cool kids are doing. Allison Fisher did it, and Dallas West did it, and Mark Wilson did it.
And also, before we go though, we got to remind people. We do want to do some grudge matches. We want to do some fight nights. We want to do some of that stuff. And like I said before, and we'll say it again. I mean, if you got a venue that wants us, if you got it in mind, we'll just let us know. I mean. Once again, we can't do it for free, but if you can get the venue to throw in, $50, and we can do the commentary and do, talk about their venue and their food and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than worth it. Or if the players can agree on something, hey, we're going to play for X amount of dollars, and TNT guys are going to come down, throw us something for some gas money and throw some food. So we're not looking to make $1 million, but we don't want to lose money doing it either. So. When we say we'll do it for free, we'll do it for free. Like if it's in town here or Sterling, Rock Falls, something, whatever, we could do it for nothing. But it's nice to get a little bit of gas money or food money or something to something for the drink.
Don't let him lie. He wants food.
Yes, I want.
Sam, it came from. It's related to fire, and I like fire. That's kind of how the team. There's been mixed stories about where the team name came from, and some people thought it was who I started with and the names, and it was just TNT. There were explosions and fire, and I like fire, so hence all the fiery stuff. Unlike on our everywhere.
Hey Jesse, get the hose out. I don't know if he's going to try to burn my garage down.
And I keep forgetting to do this, and I feel horrible about it for a couple of reasons. Because we're always talking about how the cool people do things to help TNT, and he's my father-in-law. But that awesome banner right there, Quick Quality Signs, Dixon, Illinois, 815-288-9707. He does banners, shirts, car lettering, all kinds of cool stuff, and he can do these banners in any size you want. So,
well, we need to get some TNT shirts.
Yep, I'm working on it. Working on it.
We need to get some Pigeon Coop shirts, and I keep telling Jeremiah I need some. I need to get Will one. I need to get Alex one. I get the boys one. We need to get collared ones is what we really need to have, and stuff like that. So, but anyways, yes, we'll wrap this up.
Yep. So follow, subscribe. Turn on live notifications. Check all that stuff out at TNT. Don't forget, if you want to help us out and make our stream better or do anything like that, there's also a link in the descriptions where you can go over and drop a little bit of money and be like, oh, you guys are cool. Here, have a couple bucks. You know, no worries if you don't. We still love you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll let's see. Wise Guys Sunday, August 8th, Dave's Place. There'll probably be something in between there. Doubles leagues going on. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting.
Well, ACS is going to be.
The ACS. Well, when I can't
meeting's
remember. The meeting is
tomorrow
tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
And then we're going to start next week, and we're going to be playing on Tuesday night. So you got to remember that.
Was that her plan? Was to start the week after the following?
The way
the 21st.
I could be wrong, but I believe it's supposed to start next Tuesday. So,
okay, so
and we're going to be off.
Go to the meeting and find out.
Yes, get to the meeting, and if you don't wait till the last second, because there's a lot of scrambling going on right now, because it was last minute getting all this stuff together and stuff like that. So make sure that you get, whatever you're doing, just make sure that you're, you got your guys lined up and you're ready to go, because
you can get them signed up right now.
Yes.
Matter of fact, before the
Bud
meeting.
is Wiser.
BudIsWiser.net, and up at the top, Rock Falls ACS. Sign up, click on that, fill out all the little red asterisk boxes with all your team stuff, and you'll be set. I'm Bud. That's Hollywood. This has been Off the Rail. Thanks a bunch for watching. Tell all your friends, share it, watch it 100 times. You guys rock. We'll see you guys later. Later, Hollywood.
See ya.